On top the things where they share for inside Edo today, Congolese ambassador to Nigeria, Jacques Obenza, don't come pay courtesy visit give Edo acting governor. Second say him can inspect health facilities for Edo State, but him first come pay visit give Edo acting governor as the #1 man for the land. The ambassador do this visit with Professor Nosa Bazwaye, where they carry out transplant for sickle cell people them and some other members of him team. Ambassador Jacques come talk say him country ready to work with Professor Bazwaye to take train people for health matter, and he wants make Edo State government put hand for him back so that him and Professor Bazwaye go fit do better thing for sickle cell people wey dey for Edo State.
In Africa, we said when you arrive somewhere, go to see the chief of the village, and he can tell you what to do, where you can go, and what you cannot do. Had opportunity last year to meet a professor in Brazzaville. He had a contact with our center there, and we are thinking to do more, because the experience of Professor will be shared with us, because it's one of the sector need really to work in health. And I came to prepare the arrival of one of our delegation that will visit Benin City, this wonderful city, in a few months. For that, all my visit will be after visiting the chief of the village, Your Excellency. I'm going to visit the center with Professor Bazwaye to see how we can, at least with time, with the grace of God, to see the way to sign agreement.
Professor Bazwaye can talk say they don't first do 3 bone marrow transplants for University of Benin Teaching Hospital, and it is successful. He come say they don't first do bone marrow transplant for 2011, and a 7-year-old pikin nine them do them for. They don't do 6 transplants since then, and all of them they successful.
We did the first bone marrow transplant in 2011 at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital to cure sickle cell disease. We did it for a 7-year-old child who had stroke, and if he had another stroke, the child would have died. But he's been cured since 2011. We're also privileged to do only 3 bone marrow transplants at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital for 4 years. We had a 100% success rate. But for some logistics and some other funding problems, the center was no longer working. And we had 2 options: either return back to Europe or look for another alternative. And the other alternative was to collaborate with a private center. And so those of us who are experts at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital had to collaborate with a private enterprise just for advice and knowledge to ensure that the first successful transplant in a private setting. It's difficult to do a transplant in Africa or a developing country. We've been able to prove that we can do it in a teaching hospital. And so we further went ahead to prove that we can do it even in a private setting. And by January 2018, we had done the first successful bone marrow transplant for sickle cell in a private setting in Benin City, Nigeria.
Now, so acting governor of Edo State, Right Honorable Comrade Philip Shaibu, come talk say, na big pride, say Edo State get transplant center. And now one of Edo Pikin, now they do the transplant for the center.
I want to welcome you sincerely to Edo and to thank you for being here for something we believe in. And also, it's our pride, really, that beyond having this center in Edo State, that our son has really made us proud, and he has brought the profession alive and also helped to solve one issue that is a nightmare to every family and parent. And it's not a making really, but it's good to know that we have been able to, through God's wisdom and knowledge, been able to find a cure that can keep these our loved ones alive and become really normal.
Acting Governor Contok say Edo State government dey conscious of the health of im people, and that na why dem dey concerned about primary health care. And na this one I make Edo State government wan build 20 health care center for everywhere for Edo State. As e be say World Health Organization wey be WHO talk say make health care dey near people well.
And we are the host state. We taking health very seriously as one of our cardinal pillars. And because truly any nation or state that want to survive must be able to invest in the health of its people. Because when they are healthy and their well-being is adequately taken care of, that is when production really can be optimized. So we are very conscious of that, and that's why beyond lip service, we are taking very seriously the issue of primary health care, which we feel is the foundation of any health system you want to build. As we speak, we are presently doing an experimentation of building 20 centers, primary health care centers all over the state. And those 20 we want to just use as prototype and to experiment on what the World Health Organization and UNICEF standard has to do with bringing healthcare closer to the people. And in doing that, we discovered that if we're able to succeed in doing that, we'll have been able to deal with issue of tertiary health 50%.
Na so acting governor Consti talk say belle dey sweet am on top say the transplants dem dey successful. Im also talk say Edo State government go do collabo with the Democratic Republic of Congo.
So I join to congratulate him and also to assure you, Your Excellency, that for the infrastructural aspect, we are going to collaborate, and some other aspects, especially in terms of equipment, because before you come from Congo, our Edo people will first be the first beneficiaries. So you can see why we as a government must collaborate. And also, as Africans, I think this is a wake-up call for all of us.
After he don talk this one, now he come present artifacts give Ambassador Jacques Obenza and Professor Nosa Bazwaye. After the courtesy visit for Edo State Government House, 9 Tori people come follow the Congolese ambassador and Professor Bazwaye go do inspection for the hospital waiting for they do the transplant. The hospital named na Celtic Healthcare Medical Center, and it there for Igosa for we state here. Now so the Congolese ambassador come using eye sees 18-year-old boy when the professor don't do transplant for. He can say he dey successful and the boy dey alive. Now so the boy don't dey recover. He can still see another patient where they don't still do transplant for where they alive. Now after that, when Congo they inspect the healthcare center, now he can they see say all the facilities where they the healthcare center, so it go good and it go they make bone marrow transplant. They go well so that sickle cell people don't go they get wahala for their health again. Now so we see the story reach on top the plans where Edo State government gets to take make sure say sickle cell people not go they get katakata on top their health matter again for Edo State.